We are on the air. I am Mad Valid Mike. That is Trent Ginger Mint. And this is the Anyone But the Chiefs podcast. I have called this episode the Three Ring Circus. Trent Ginger Mint, they have 3 rings, and the Chiefs' entire organization, their whole presence, their team, their fans, they've become a circus.
An inevitable circus.
An inevitable circus. We're going to go over a few things today. This is Wednesday. It will be released tomorrow on Thursday. And this is the week of Championship Sunday. So the Chiefs are playing the Bills at home on Sunday. And the Eagles are playing, who are they playing at home? Washington at home.
The Commies.
So we're going to go over mostly Chiefs and Bills things and go over the Chiefs-Texans game, the upcoming Chiefs-Bills game, and then we'll go over some predictions. Are you okay with that, Trent Ginger Mint? 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. All right. May I say for the record, I've said it a few times, I hate the Chiefs, Trent. I hate them.
I think everybody does.
I mean, my cousin for a couple of years now, Carl, has said, well, just back off a little bit. Like, they're really good. They deserve it, blah, blah, blah. He texted me yesterday. He said, I think I'm finally on the hate train after I sent him that video of me playing guitar in my latest Chiefs riff. I think it's inevitable. They're going to the Super Bowl. But do you think it's inevitable they're going to the Super Bowl?
I think it's inevitable. Along with the hate, so obviously all of your fans and followers are aware you work at a bar, and we were at the bar during the game, right?
Yeah.
And, I just want to point out that I think most of the time the bar that we work at it's not a sports bar to the point where people are avid football fans, right?
Right.
There may be two or 3 guys around the bar that are fans. And there were a couple of Chiefs. I saw 2 or 3 Chiefs jerseys, hats, etc.
No doubt.
But for the most part, you have novice soccer mom type.
Yeah.
They know sports ball's going on, but they don't know the X's and O's, blah, blah, blah. The amount of pops that I would hear, the amount of every time that I heard everyone in the bar in unison just roar, I'd look up and say, oh my God, there must have been a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown. Nope. It was a bullshit penalty call for the Chiefs. And that happened multiple times. Yeah. Multiple times. It's incredible.
Yeah, there was a ton of casual fans, but they were heated at times, and there were Chiefs fans here or there that didn't seem to be cheering much, almost as if they knew they were going to win the game. They were just there to take it all in. But yeah, the Chiefs-Texans game was the divisional game that got the Chiefs to this point. And I do have some stats on that game that I want to go over. In that game, the total yards, the Texans outgained the Chiefs 336 to the Chiefs 212 yards in that game. The rushing yards, which is usually a big-time factor in every single NFL game, even college games, the Texans rushed for 149 yards. The Chiefs rushed for 50. I think the difference in that game was 2 things. What's his name? Stroud held on to the ball too much. He got sacked 8 times and lost 58 yards. A bunch of those sacks were very important sacks. Mahomes only got sacked 3 times for 15 yards. Part of that is how good he is and how he slides up and knows when to throw it, knows when to run. But yes, the penalties, the refs. So the Texans had 8 penalties for 82 yards in them. A couple of very questionable roughing the passer, helmet to helmet on Mahomes, which tends to happen. So 8 for 82 was against the Texans. The Chiefs only had 4 penalties for 29 yards. I think that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I heard you compliment the Chiefs a little bit there.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that we do need to acknowledge, that this team is very, very good at football.
Oh, incredible.
Mahomes is a very good football player.
Yes.
Travis Kelce
Yeah.
When it comes playoff time, people kind of forgot he's pretty good at football.
Yeah, and let's not forget the head of it all. Andy Reid is top coach probably in the league now that Belichick's done. And someone would have argued that he was the top coach in the league when Belichick was there. Andy Reid is part GM as well. So he brings in the talent, assembles the talent. Andy Reid with Mahomes is easily comparable to Belichick and Brady, even this early. It's early. So Belichick and Brady had 6, right? And Mahomes and Reid have 3. So they're only halfway there, but those two together, and then you add in Travis Kelce, who had against the Texans 7 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown. To your point, shining when it matters the most. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. Mahomes does it every single week, and Kelsey steps up whenever he needs to.
Yeah.
They're uh,
Star
Mahomes.
shine. Yeah.
I want to talk about this. I want to get your take on this.
Yes.
Mahomes flopping. He doesn't need to do that. He understands how the NFL works and how the NFL protects quarterbacks to the utmost degree. He understands that what he's doing is not illegal per se. Now, flopping in basketball and soccer is recently been like penalized for you
Yes.
flopping. That has not happened yet in football, but I do believe it's coming. Your thoughts on Mahomes and his accentuating of hits, especially when he goes out of bounds?
Yeah. I rewatched that clip actually this morning, and what's fascinating about it is, a lot of players, and I know we'll get to it, but Josh Allen does this even,
Yeah.
is the going to the ref right after the play and doing, ho, ho,
Oh,
ho. If you watch
yeah.
that play back, after Mahomes flops, he
Yeah.
gets right up and he jogs back. No, no. Watch
Okay.
it back, Mike. He
Okay.
gets right up and he jogs to the huddle. He tosses the ball to the ref and he goes right back on his merry way.
Okay.
You can
So he
almost
doesn't.
have some. You can almost have some. Like, okay, it's just strictly gamesmanship. You
All
know.
right.
I
But
mean,
the,
you mentioned it in basketball, right?
yeah,
In
yeah,
basketball it happens, and
yeah.
and I don't know. I think you can chalk it up to some gamesmanship there, but obviously that's not the way that we as fans want to see a team win,
Exactly.
especially to win their 3rd Super Bowl in a row.
Exactly. And the one guy I would say, and most people would say, that doesn't need the benefit of an extra call here or there is the best player in all of football, Mahomes. So it's kind of annoying to see him accentuate things. But yeah, he's certainly not the only quarterback that does that. Tons of quarterbacks are constantly begging, the Aaron Rodgers of the world for penalty calls. And the second they get even touched, they're looking at the refs
I
and
see
the
Allen do it a lot.
yeah. And
And
so he's
let me
not,
do.
yeah.
Let me say something that might piss everybody off. And I don't want to make this comparison per se because obviously it's 2 different sports. But you look at LeBron James.
Yeah.
Everybody gives LeBron James a terrible time about being a crybaby and this and that. I've said this forever. LeBron James is 6'9", 200 and whatever pounds. If he's driving to the lane and somebody's intentionally fouling him or trying to,
Yeah.
he might not go down like some of
Right.
these other players that are 7 foot, 210 pounds, right?
Right.
So he may have to do that to accentuate. Again, I'm not saying there's any comparison or anything. I think the fact that Mahomes has been to 7 straight AFC Championship games. When you hear stats like that, the only other athlete that I can think of is LeBron. And obviously, 2 different sports. Basketball is much more star centric,
Yeah.
less team oriented. Football is the most team
Yeah.
sport there is. Which
Yeah.
again, kudos to Andy Reid, etc. But I think it's just it blows my mind.
No,
I think
I agree with you. I think it's a pretty fair comparison. Yeah, when LeBron goes and some 6'1", 200-pound guard fouls the hell out of his arm, it sometimes doesn't even look like it. So I get that he's got to accentuate it a little bit. Shaq probably did that back in the day because you couldn't even tell he was such a monster. But yeah, he's not breaking the rules. I don't like it, but he's trying to win football games and doing everything in his power to win football games, and he wins just about all of them.
It's like the scene on The Hangover. It's not illegal, like
It-
masturbating on an airplane. It's just frowned upon.
I didn't think you were going to take it there, Trent Gingerman. I'm going to go right off that. And my final thought on the Chiefs Texans game was something that interested quite a few bettors out there at the very end of the game. They were up 23-12. The Chiefs had the ball at the very end of the game, just running out the clock. There was roughly 15 seconds left. They were on their own 18-yard line. The spread, most spreads at kickoff were right around 9.5 for the Chiefs. They were up by 11, 23-12. And instead of just punting the ball away with 15 seconds or so left and then leaving the Texans with maybe 8 seconds to go the length of the field for 2 scores. So they would have needed to score in 9 seconds, get an onside, and kick a field goal all within 9 seconds. They decided to run it to the back of the end zone and take a safety, which made it 23-14 and then
Right.
made the deficit 9 points. And I looked at it, it wasn't a massive difference, but the betting public, I think, was 64% had the Chiefs minus 9.5. So things like that are kind of strange. You noticed that. Did you have the Chiefs minus 9.5 in that game?
I don't think I did. I do think it's interesting. Just more fuel for the fire, right?
It really is. It's more things for people like me and you and the other millions of podcasts to talk about. I immediately thought it was weird that they did that, not being, if they were on their own 5-yard line or 1-yard line and a blocked punt recovery for a touchdown only takes 3 seconds, I get it. But they were on their own 18. Regardless, so the
That play is
Chiefs got
hilarious. That's a hilarious play. I
it's
the first football game I ever went to in my life, I was a little kid, and I'll never forget. We were getting blown out, just blown out. I think it was Miami Dolphins or somebody, and we hadn't scored a point all game. And I was with my old man, and the other team did that at the end of the game. They ran out the back of the end zone, and everybody in the stadium's booing. We're getting beat by 50 points or whatever. And I'll never forget. I turned to my dad and I said, "At least they let us score one."
yes.
Because all 6-year-old me, 10-year-old me, all I saw was the scoreboard. We got some points. Hey, we got some points.
I got to bring up my Gators real quickly because it just reminded me of a Gators topic. The Florida Gators football team they have the longest streak. It's been since October of 1988 since they've been shut out of a football game. They have the longest streak going in the nation. So they haven't been shut out from a football game in 36 years. About 6 years ago, there was a game that we lost to Florida State. I think it was actually at home, 27-2. So that's what just brought me back, and that kept the streak going, even though the offense had nothing to do with it. That's an aside. I love bringing up my Gators. Who's your college team again?
Alabama.
Roll Tide, he says. My final thoughts on the Chiefs Texans game that kind of goes back to the 3-ring circus title of this episode is the emergence of a certain Indiana star athlete making an appearance in the box of you got a t-shirt on. What's your t-shirt you have on there? Let's see what you got. Swifties for trouble. Oh my god. Yeah, so Caitlin Clark made an appearance in Taylor Swift's box. Your thoughts on those two aligning?
We lost her. We lost her. I mean, again, everything you can argue, and I love love. All right, Mike, I think we can agree on that. We both love love.
Yeah.
We like there to be love. I think
Yeah.
everything that Taylor Swift has done,
Yeah.
it's good business.
It really is.
And you could say that she doesn't need it, but I mean, I don't know. When you look at it from the outside, it's all you can think of. Caitlin Clark is by far the most popular woman athlete in the world.
Yeah.
And you've been a sports fan. You got some more years than me.
Yeah.
the most popular woman in sports that I can remember in my lifetime. I mean, not even close. So yeah,
Yeah.
to have her on her side, why not?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking, all right, well, what's next? What's next for the Bills game? Are they going to have so they have the biggest musical artist of our time. They have the biggest athlete, female athlete of our time. So is it going to be the next in the Bills game? Are they going to have the best actress in the suite? So if she had the best actress in the suite, who do you think it would be? I have a list.
Sydney Sweeney.
You think it would be Sydney Sweeney? I would be okay with that. I might even start rooting for the Chiefs if I saw Sydney Sweeney in some kind of a low cut crop. Oh my God, is she hot? But I was thinking they maybe Angelina Jolie,
Sure.
J Law, Scarlett Johansson is up there. If you want to go old school, I wouldn't be surprised to see Demi Moore in
Oh,
with Taylor Swift, and Caitlin Clark. Maybe even Meryl Streep makes an appearance. But we shall see. Um, this Bills Chiefs matchup, I can't wait for this game. Now, on the other side, it's going to be the Eagles and Redskins. And I don't know. I think it's going to be tough because Jalen Hurts, your boy, well, sort of your stepson, stepchild that was Alabama, then went to Oklahoma, looks to be a little bit hurt.
perfectly put.
Yeah, he looks to be a little hobbled. If
He's banged up.
Jalen Hurts is hobbled, if he's like 75%, I think that's an even game given what the rookie Jaden Daniels has brought to the table in terms of talent, leadership, yardage, running the ball, throwing the ball. If Jalen Hurts has recovered, I think the Eagles are going to win at home. Tough place to play.
As we know, playoff games are always close. You know,
Yeah.
good teams, experienced teams, they keep the game close, and then when there's critical moments, they execute. You know, I think the Commanders Lions game was a bit of an anomaly. We could have a whole podcast on that probably. I don't know if you've heard the conspiracies with both of their coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Both had already accepted jobs allegedly before the game. So I'm not sure about that one. But if you look at the Eagles Rams game, you know, the Rams easily could have won that game.
Yes, they could have.
It came down to execution at the end. And then, you know, you look at Saquon Barkley. I mean, everybody and their mother knew that he was getting the ball there on that last couple drives, and he's still able to bust one for 80 yards or whatever. So it's like, you know,
The NFL playoffs, to me, and my father say this all the time, they always deliver.
yeah.
There was a long time where Super Bowls were blowouts, which sucked. But even up until the Super Bowls for years and years and years and years and years, divisional playoffs, the conference championship games, always great games, and that is true today. So jumping into the Bills Chiefs. Now the Bills beat the Ravens in the most anticipated matchup of the week of last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the blame is going on Mark Andrews. He fumbled late as they were driving to possibly take the lead. He dropped a 2-point conversion pass that would have tied the game with basically no time left, would have went to overtime. He's been a great player for a long time. That was a really tough game for him.
Tough.
So it doesn't come down to one or two plays, but my gosh, those two plays were huge. The Bills could have easily won still if those two plays hadn't have happened. So I'm I'm kind of glad the Bills because I want to see the Bills Chiefs.
It was a great football game. I think, you know, when it comes to the Ravens, they were kind of banged up in their own right. They had zero weapons. I mean, Bateman is whatever,
Yeah.
but other than that, you know, Flowers was out, so Andrews was literally their go-to guy. The fact that he dropped it, I mean, it's tough. It's one of those, you know, classic sports cliches. Well, he wouldn't have been there if it wasn't without him. Whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I cannot express this enough how eerily similar this is. So my one of my first memories and definitely my best sports memory of my life, obviously the Colts won the Super Bowl in 2006.
They did
I would have been 7 or 8 years old, right?
against my Bears. Yep.
Sorry about that. The Super Bowl was not the biggest memory. I mean, that game was whatever, you know.
All
I
right.
mean, crappy game. The AFC Championship game
All right.
against the Patriots.
Oh.
We came back from down 18 points against Tom Brady, and that
Really?
was the very infamous. Uh, we scored with I think a minute and 30 left.
Okay.
Pat's down 3 or 4. They're driving. Oh, great! Brady's going to beat us again, and he throws an interception. Oh
Yeah.
my God! We won the game. I mean, I can remember in my household people jumping up and down, breaking stuff. I mean, it was just that's how I feel about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is Peyton Manning's to
All right.
Mahomes' Brady.
All right. I like it.
I don't know if this is the year with the Chiefs having home field advantage and everything going on,
Yeah.
but that's just the way I feel. Josh Allen is Peyton Manning to Patrick Mahomes' Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
I mean, taking down the evil empire, kind of like if I think about it in Chicago terms, Michael and the Bulls against Isaiah and the Pistons, they had to get over that hump before they could start winning titles.
Right.
Josh Allen obviously has to get through Andy Reid, Mahomes, Kelsey, that whole operation, that finely oiled and tuned operation before they can even get to the Super Bowl. They have to overcome that. So I'm with you. That's a completely great take. Do you think it happens? Is the question.
In my right mind, I could never bet against the Chiefs. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
value my money a little bit too much.
Well,
Um,
before you give us that prediction, I want to go over real quick the stats of they met this year, week 11 in Buffalo.
in Buffalo.
And Buffalo won 30-21. The total yards in that game were Bills 366, Kansas City 259. The rushing Bills outrushed the Chiefs 104-78. Mahomes threw for 196, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Allen threw for 262, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He ran for 55 and a touchdown. Kelsey only had 2 catches for 8 yards in that Week 11 game.
Mm,
That I will be shocked if he does anywhere near as bad as that in
right.
this game. So what was the difference in that game? I think the turnover. So the Bills outrushed them by a decent amount, and the Bills were at home. The Bills were +1 in turnovers. It was a close game. So having said that, do you think it's going to go somewhat similar in Kansas City? It's probably going to be cold.
Well, yeah, and if you remember, that game came down to like one big play, right? So they won by 9.
Yeah, 30-21.
So the Chiefs were, or the Bills were up by 2, and it was a 4th and 2,
Okay.
and Josh Allen scrambled for like 30 yards for that touchdown, if you remember that.
I don't
So
remember
again,
that. Yeah.
my point is situational football. The Bills
Yeah.
got to that situation, executed better at home. I don't think on the road, if you get that same situation that's happening again. The Bills could hop out in front of them. They could. They
They
could.
could. Definitely. I think one little interesting tidbit that I'm going to look at in the Bills Chiefs game coming up is that the Chiefs, who's going to be their running back one? Because last week, I don't know if Pacheco was hurt, and I don't know if they went with the hot hand, but
Hot
last
hand.
week it was Kareem Hunt who rushed 8 times for 44 yards and a touchdown. Pacheco only had 5 rushes for 18 yards and didn't play very much, wasn't on the field very much. So their guy was Kareem Hunt, who was juiced, looking good. It'll be interesting to see if they go with the hot hand again, if Kareem Hunt is their guy, because there will be. I don't think it's going to be high. Do you think it's going to be high scoring?
No, absolutely not. No. I think, when it comes to running backs, it's not like quarterbacks. It's like, you could have two good running backs.
Yeah.
That's never hurt a team to have two good running backs. I think Pacheco's probably still rusty, missed a lot of time, and like you said, just a
Okay.
hot hand there. I think they're very similar backs.
All
Obviously,
right.
Kareem Hunt's more experienced,
Yeah.
but very similar styles. I don't think it hurts them
Well,
having
what was it?
split
It
hairs.
was like 3 years ago, maybe, that crazy game, Buffalo at Kansas City with the 18
Yes.
seconds left or something, and Gabe Davis had 4 touchdowns. That game alone made him millions of dollars,
Oh yeah.
and that was in the 40s, I think. I just don't see that happening with this game.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, neither team has the weapons on the outside. Neither team. the Bills have virtually zero weapons. They throw screen passes to
Shakir.
and then they run powers and then use their two big tight ends and then just have Josh Allen put the team on their back.
Yeah. And every now and then they'll flash James Cook in there. They'll flash Ray Davis in there.
Right.
The Chiefs are
Very
trying
similar
to.
styles.
Yeah, they really are. And do you have the line on that game? I didn't even.
Yeah, Chiefs. So Chiefs are favored by 1.5, which I think
Okay.
is interesting. The old adage is an NFL team gets 3 points for being at home
Right.
if it's a true home field advantage, which I think the Chiefs, you could almost add a point or two to that.
Yes. Yes.
So the fact that the Chiefs are favored by 1.5, so the Vegas thinks if this is a neutral site that Buffalo would be favored by 2 or 3. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty interesting.
Do you have the over under there?
Ooh, shite. I don't know if this is gonna mess everything up.
He took his phone off the thing. I'll just be the entertainment. Hey, I'll go get my guitar. And I hate the Chiefs. Mahomes, all their fans, and the Swifties. Yeah. So while you're looking that up, I do believe my prediction is the Chiefs are going to win this game, Trent. The Chiefs are going to win 23-21. So I think the over-under should be right around 45. Did you get it?
47.5.
47 and a half? So they're saying the game is going to be right around 24-23 Chiefs. So that's what the books are saying. The Chiefs are going to win this game roughly 24-23. Do you have a prediction and a exact final score?
Chiefs 24. Is that what you said also?
No, I said Chiefs 23, Bills 21.
Chiefs 24, Bills 9.
24-9. You think the Chiefs are going to handle this one from start to finish? So you don't think it's Josh Allen's time just yet?
It's not in Kansas City. This is eerily similar to the Colts in 2004 when they had to go into New England and there was a big snowfall. Peyton just choked. I think he's going to have to get home field advantage. One of these AFC teams is going to have to get home field advantage. I just don't see anybody going into the Chiefs' kingdom and pulling out a win.
Yeah, I probably won't be betting on this game, at least for the score or anything. I might do some prop bets, but I will be rooting for the Bills. Any of you that saw my little guitar riff on the Chiefs, I've done 2 of them now. Chiefs Rip 1, Chiefs Rip 2 on YouTube. Check us out on Mad Valid Mike channel. Not a big fan of the Chiefs. I respect them greatly. Like you said, and we've said plenty of times in this podcast, they are just a really, really good football team all around. They know how to win. They know exactly what to do, when to do it, who to get the ball to, and when to go for it, when not to, when to kick the field goals, when to go for touchdowns. I just don't like the fact that we saw 20 years of Tom Brady. You want to talk about a ridiculous stat? Tom Brady was in the league for like 20 years. He went to 10 Super Bowls, Trent.
That's
10.
right.
And you're telling me the Chiefs have been in how many straight AFC title games?
7. Mahomes has been a starter for 7 years.
And that's great. Greatness is fun to watch, but it's also fun to root against. And we just had a guy dominate the league for the most part for 20 years. I want other people to get involved. So go Bills,
Go
go
Bills.
Josh Allen. But these two lunatics say, sorry, it's not your time yet.
I'll just say, as far as the Patriots, there's a lot of comparisons I've seen on the internet and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like the Patriots were just boring. Everybody can agree. They were just boring.
They were
boring. Belichick's in the media is, whatever. Brady just keeps doing whatever. The Chiefs are at least fun. I feel like they're embracing, again, if you're a professional wrestling fan, like the heel, the bad guy.
Yes.
They've embraced that. They are the bad guy. They're the heel.
They are. Yes, they are definitely a more.
It's fun to root against them.
They're a more entertaining villain for sure.
Bingo.
You've got Mahomes doing all his commercials. Andy Reid has gotten into the commercial game. He's pretty funny. You got the Taylor Swift circus, now the Caitlin Clark circus. Throw Travis Kelce in there.
Oh,
they you know, yeah, they are very entertaining, and it's probably a like them or hate them thing, like Notre Dame or the Yankees, whatever. But go Bills! Any final thoughts on the Anyone But the Chiefs podcast? This episode was titled The Three Ring Circus. Your final thoughts? Do you have any awkward questions for me?
No awkward questions. We'll do it again when it's Eagles Chiefs in the Super Bowl in a week.
Okay. So Trent is predicting Eagles Chiefs to the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl, we will do another podcast on Super Bowl week, and we'll have some more entertainment for you, some more laughs, some more stats, and some more stupid comments and hot takes and cold takes. But until then, I am Mad Valid Mike. That is Trent Gingerman. Thanks so much for coming on, Trent. This was the Anyone But the Chiefs podcast. Until next time, America, be good, do good.
Peace.